now when I first started writing board materials, there really was very little written in the secular world about board governance. Now there are organizations that work with that. There's lots of material. But there was very little at the time that I started. I kind of had to learn on the job. But one of the things that I picked up, and I'm not even sure where I found this, but it's a theoretical explanation of the role of a board compared to the role of the staff. All right. And it's shaped a little bit like a, what do I want to, uh, a
Funnel?
funnel. No, not exactly a funnel, a
Pyramid?
timer.
Timer.
Timers. Yeah. What are those timers
Well, the
called?
hourglass.
You got the that's it, that's it. Thank you, Jacob. Shaped a little bit like an hourglass, and up at the top hourglass, part of the hourglass, is the board and the board members. And at the bottom of that little triangle is the board chair. And then the next part, the bottom part of that hourglass is the staff. And at the top of that staff is the executive. Top of that pyramid is the executive director or the CEO. So the board chair in that first part and the executive director have a touch point. It's the job of the board chair, particularly. Remember, I said responsibility and jobs are somewhat different sometimes. But one of the jobs of the board chair is to be the chief staff person for the board and the chief relationship person in relationship with the executive director at the bottom part. So they're kind of touching there in that diagram. And then under the executive director, the rest of that part of the hourglass are the people that work under him or her in the staff. So the executive director is in charge of that part, sphere of authority, we call it, and the board chair in charge of this sphere of authority. They're touching each other. And then above, describing that top part of the triangle, let me look, I've got it here right beside me, and I want to tell you what the names or the titles are in that top part to describe what that board is responsible for. The board is responsible for developing policy. All right, these are the big things. A policy your mission statement might be described as a policy. All right, policies that kind of govern how the organization does things. All right, these are the big issues that relate to the pregnancy center. The ends, another term for ends is results. What is the end for which we are formed? The result that we want to achieve, that our mission is supposed to help us to identify the end. You know the difference between the end and the means. All right. The means is how we do it. That's below the line. That's the staff. Okay. So the board focuses on the ends and the staff under that focuses on the means. Where the board focuses on policy, I mentioned, under that, the staff focuses on implementing the policy. Okay. So another term at the top that describes the board is what? What do we do? What do we do? All right. And for the staff under that, their focus is how do we do it? All right. For instance, what? Are we going to provide medical services? Yes. The board says yes. We decide that as a policy. Medical services. All right. Ultrasound particularly. And then we also want to add others as we go along. The board decides that at the top. Under that, the staff says, how are we going to do that? Well, we need to have a medical director first.